sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping. Sipping, I'm 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 sipping. Sipping, I'm 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 sipping.
This is Sipping with Sammie. I am Sipping with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool, Rug. If you ain't sipping with Sammie, you ain't sipping right. Please get your fucking life together. Yes, Lord. And we're back. Salute to everybody that's tapped in. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell somebody else to like, comment, subscribe, share, all of that coolness. You are appreciated. Today is a dope day because I have the honor of catching up with someone that I actually haven't had more than 5 minutes worth of conversation with ever. So we're going to do it in front of y'all. But today we have Lawanda. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Now, from what I know about you, I saw you one day and I said, oh, it's a nice lady. Seems to be positive. And then you said, well, I'm having this event and we're doing this and it's going to be big and I have all these moving parts. And you had Son of the 215 and a bunch of people performing and it was a big thing. And I was like, that's a big undertaking. And then that was successful. And then I saw you again after that. And I kept seeing you. And for the last 2, maybe 3 years, I keep seeing you. And one thing that I see is that you're doing positive things. You're doing community-oriented things. And you're getting a lot of recognition for it. So salute to you for that. Because that's amazing that people actually see the work that you're doing. But, like, I need to figure out where does this, like, how do you even go from me never seeing you to constantly be in my orbit?
That's interesting. I've been in Philadelphia for 18 years.
Right.
And I've been doing this work for 15. But I was very under the radar. Like I'm a paperwork person. I'm a strategy person. I'm a behind the scenes person. But I'm very extroverted. People think that because I'm like kind and, you know, sweet or whatever, that I don't have like flavor, you know. But I really it's funny because if I feel comfortable, there's this whole other kind of side of me that comes out. Right. But I've been here for a while doing work under the radar, and I'm behind a lot of shit you probably walk by each day, like in terms of nonprofits and stuff like that. Even stuff in the grocery store that's on the shelves, like I'm behind some of those things. Awesome. So it wasn't until like last year, right before I did an event called Philly Got Bars, that I was like, it's time for people to know who's been behind this shit. Like, you know, it was, I was noticing that I had helped all of these people get to a certain place, and that like I still wasn't in that place, and that no one knew who I was, and that I was essentially like still trying to figure out my money situation, but had already gotten millions for other people. So I was like, you know what? This year I'm coming outside. You know,
so you literally just made a conscious effort to be in the mix.
Made a conscious effort to come outside. It was a strategy to it. Like, first I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do that, then I'm gonna do that. That's why I seem to be popping up. But it's all been calculated. So I told you I'm type A, so like I planned the entire thing out.
Yeah, because like I said, we haven't talked much, but we've always had good interactions. But it's like I've hugged you more times than we've actually than we've actually spent speaking. Yeah. So it's there's a lot there because you said we passed things that you're involved with as far as nonprofits and things like that. Yeah. So and then you also say you raised millions of dollars, and I heard you say that at the Entrepreneur Award ceremony, and that number was high that you said at that ceremony. $26 million because of your pen.
Yeah, my pen. But I mean, like, some of that was easier to do because it was for very large organizations who are at an advantage in getting it, right? So if you get $4 million for a large organization,
that's a big chunk of the 26.
That's a big chunk of the 26. Absolutely. But I'm most proud of the smaller dollar amounts, the 40,000, the 50,000.
That's what I often hear about, you know, with people that do that kind of work.
Yeah, because I'm getting that for people who are operating out of row homes, and I feel like more proud of that type of work.
That's awesome. But how do you get into that? Hold on. You said you came here 18 years ago from
New York.
What part?
So I'm an upstate. I consider myself an upstate New York girl. My family is from the Bronx and Asheville, North Carolina. But I grew up upstate. That's what I claim. Mm-hmm. And I came here because I had a boyfriend who was going to go to Temple Law. And he needed someone to feed him. Because I guess you're not allowed to work while you're in law school, which a lot of people don't know. So I came and was the breadwinner for his 3 years of law school. And then when he graduated, I was like, my turn. And, so I asked him if he would support me while I started this endeavor, Mission Inc. So that's how I got here.
So Mission Inc. And Mission Inc. covers what exactly? What's the mission statement? Yeah,
so we help people start and raise money for nonprofit organizations and activist projects. We also do like 30% of our work is our own activist projects to show people that we actually do this. So it's almost like a marketing tool to like, we raised it for ourselves. We really know how to do this.
Exactly.
And we show them what we do. By example. So
that's what Jeezy said about the strip club. He said if I could throw $100,000 in the strip club, then somebody knows that they ain't got to worry about me running off with their money if they try and make a play.
Right. So
Same thing.
I mean, so that's what Philly Got Bars was, and then recently Rock the Block. That's what that was.
Exactly.
That was we say we can do this. Here it is.
Put it on Front Street.
Yeah, I put it on Front Street. So
how did you, if you stayed low for so long, how do you build the network that you're coming outside with? Because when you did Rock the Block, it was a lot of entities involved in Rock the Block. Yeah. And that's not easy.
Yeah, I already had them. I mean, I already had all of those relationships, and because they were genuine, right? I wasn't when I wasn't trying to be out on Front Street, people knew that I was genuine. Because most people are chasing the camera. They're looking for the opportunity. They're looking for how to, get ahead or whatever. And people would meet me and they would be like, you just like helping me, and I would help so that when I'm a professional fundraiser, this is what I do for a living. So like, I know how to get favors because I was helping so much that there's very few people that I can't call to get, something done. So like Rock the Block was majority donations, friends that I called, like, you got this. And relationships I meet, I don't always have a place for you yet, but once I meet you, you go in the Rolodex. I know who you are. I know what you are capable of. It's just I'm looking for the timing to line up where it's me and you. Right. But yeah, there's people that thought I forgot who they were that got calls from me, like last year. Oh, I never forget you. I was just waiting for the project that was for me and you to work on.
Yeah, that's always best anyway. I mean, you want to touch base with a lot of people in between just to, hey, But besides that, it's like when it's time, we gonna work. And when it's right, it's gonna feel good. Yeah,
because people get offended by that. Like, they're like, how come you were just doing this thing and I wasn't on it or whatever? It's like, because when I mapped out the plan for that thing, I knew exactly who I wanted already. I knew exactly how I wanted to do it. It's just a matter of waiting for like whenever my mind decides that there's like a perfect thing for you. That's what makes it successful. That's what helps you make money and get the right kind of exposure, because I'm bringing you to the right kind of opportunity, not just any opportunity. Yeah,
because I've been called into some meetings and some things sometimes, and it's like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, they don't care that I'm here. This has nothing to do with me, and you just want to have a show of faces. You know what I'm saying? More so than the right
bodies,
people.
Warm bodies.
Yeah, you want it to look big, but it's like everything. Most business doesn't require that until it's an event. Now we need a crowd.
Time is like our most valuable resource. Like, time is, you cannot get that back. Yeah. So like, I don't like to waste people's time. And again, I'm type A, so like, if you have a meeting with me, like, we have the agenda, like, we're going down that agenda, and then the meeting is adjourned. Like, it's not gonna be all of this, like.
I know somebody that's just like that.
We're not going to be exploring other opportunities and other ideas at this particular meeting where our goal is to get this particular thing done. Because I got to go, you know what I mean, somewhere else after this.
I always have somewhere to be, and I'm always on time. So I'm usually the one that's most frustrated because nobody else is.
No one's ever.
Nobody else is on
ever
time.
on time.
So by the time we start to roll it, I'm trying to roll through it.
I actually had somebody tell me, Lawanda, you always got to think about it like this. Like, if the event starts at 6, like, you don't come. You don't arrive till 6:45, 7. I was like, really? They were like, this is the law, they were telling me. And if I operated outside of that, I was going to be embarrassing myself. So now I'm like, all right, well, I guess I got to wait 45 minutes. Like, but I'm ready, right? I'm probably outside in my car just waiting the 45 minutes out because I just can't.
I do the same thing. I'm ready 3-4 hours early.
Just in case
I'm
it starts on time.
Pre-gaming, trying to relax.
Yeah.
And then by the time it gets close to the time, I'm like, well, I'll just leave when it starts. And then by the time I get, like, I can't even wait the 45. It's 30 minutes to get there. That's all right.
Yeah.
But I'm always, I don't know. It's, shout out to my dad. It's one of those things, man. You're not ready unless you got your shoes tied and you ready to walk out the front door.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you late otherwise. But I wanted to ask you, how did you get in touch with the Concrete Mogul situation?
I really have just been around. So what I've been noticing is that when I get an award from one place, people who are in the audience who are having their own award ceremonies like later that year have been coming up to me and saying, hey, I want to give you an award too. So this has been insane. This past year, I'm on like my 7th or 8th award.
Yes,
now.
you are.
And I want this to kind of slow down because I want there to be awards for me to get like in the future. I don't want to have all of them already.
Oh man, you won't. Trust me.
But it's been kind of a weird year of just like I some of this was intentional and strategic and planned, and then some of it just wasn't.
But see, that goes back to you made an intentional move of being in the mix. Mm-hmm. Once you're in the mix, people realize, oh my God, who is this lady? Mm-hmm. And she's dope, and she's black, and now they want to celebrate you too. Yeah, like they didn't know before. Mm-hmm. So now you got an onslaught.
And sometimes they know the ones who did know. Mm-hmm. So when they're like, oh yeah, that's such and such. She did this for me back in. So you start to put the pieces together. Oh, she was behind that. Oh, she did
and
that.
And then if you look at your social media and stuff like that, you get to see that she's constantly working.
Yeah. Back in 2015, I brought Trayvon Martin's father to Philadelphia. Dope. And I did something called Letters to Trayvon, a celebration of black men and boys. Mm-hmm. And that was my first, like, large-scale event. It was at Arcadia, and there was, like, 400 and something people there.
Dope.
Right when it was happening, the news stations, he literally had the civil case, like, decided 24 hours before he was supposed to be at my event. So he was a news story at the same time he was supposed to be arriving. So I got to my event with every single news station in Philadelphia outside. But this is after months of asking these people to recognize me. Hey, I'm just this young girl who's trying to do this really cool thing, and he's definitely coming. But nobody was paying attention to me until that court case dropped. And then they found out he was, like, at the airport. They were like, what are you here for? And he told them what he was there for. And they were all descended upon my event like it was madness.
That's crazy.
But I did that. And then my partner on that event, which was a larger organization, actually sold it to the media as if it was their event. And because I was quiet and not really playing the front row, to this day, people don't know that that was my project and not the project of my partner.
That's wild.
Organization. So I just learned a lesson ever since then. I think that was really the turning point for me. It was like, me and my team, which is this little ragtag group of just like misfits of all different, we have the most diverse little crew ever. And we've been launching and doing these events as friends. Like, we've been doing them for years. They back me like it's like a cult, you know? Right. So we executed this thing and didn't get any credit for it.
Yeah, that's whack.
And that was insanely hurtful, and I promised myself and them that I would never allow that to happen again. So we've been loud about who we are now, and like letting people know that this is our thing. You know, we conceive of these projects, we conceive of the impact, and like all of our projects have like a weird little thing to them, you know, that's different than the way anybody else has done it. So we want people to know that that's our brand.
As you should. I can see, with that example, I can see that being extremely frustrating, especially because you brought TRAYVON's dad to, like, that's historical. That's not just I threw a ball or I had a part. You know what I mean? That's a moment that, like you said, even when you described it, you said, I'm telling him to pay attention. It's me. He's really coming.
Right.
That's a thing. Like,
yeah.
Everybody said they getting somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how do we know he's really going to? And he came for what you set up. And even I'm surprised he told him where he was going. But that's a bonus.
Yeah. But I mean, like, that was, you know, I called this guy. In my mind, I said, I would love to do something to honor TRAYVON and all the fallen young men of color. I got a thing with men of color. Like, it's an obsession to amplify their voices, to save and protect their bodies and their lives. I don't know why that is, but that's my hunger right there. Like, that's why I do Philly Got Bars. That's why
I don't think you need
do
a reason.
lot of the work. Like, that's my issue, right? So I called and I wasn't sure I was even going to get like TRAYVON's father like on the phone, but I called the foundation. I said, this is what I want to do. If there's just any way for me to talk to him. And I actually got a phone call from him.
I heard he's a nice gentleman.
Yeah, and then told him, and I think that he just heard the passion in my voice and like why I wanted to do it, and that I wanted to raise money for his foundation as part of it. And it was just, you know, the easiest. He was like, it's a go.
How did the fundraising go?
We got $10,000 for the Trayvon Martin Foundation and $10,000 for the other nonprofit that, you know, that took all the credit.
They took all the credit.
So,
right.
so they got double paid, right? But they got all the credit and the money.
Yeah.
I probably walked away from that with like $1,000. You know, after putting in the majority of the work, but it was probably just more of a compensating me for incidentals, because there's always unexpected expenses with those kind of things. So
every time.
so I've done stuff like that, and like I said, we have an entire slate of programming we would like to achieve here in Philly this year, but getting past that funding barrier. Now I can get it for other people. But Philly's a very political city, and it's also the hometown person wins. So I'm not the hometown person, although I feel as though I'm half Philly now. I've been here 18
damn near
years.
20 years.
Right, like half of my life has been in New York, half of my life here. In the 15 years that I've been doing projects, 48 hours ago was the first time I ever got a single grant for me. Just happened.
Well, congratulations.
Yes. So, you know, it's been for everyone else, right? And I'm talking large amounts for everyone else. And they finally said, you know what? We've been watching you for years and years and years, and you just, like, seem like you're not going away. So here you go. Here's some change. You know what I mean? Like,
but consistency matters.
yeah, it really does. I would have to say, if I gave advice to anybody who was running a business or nonprofit or just pushing to do anything, like perseverance, like a motherfucker. Like, do not ever stop. Like, tell them you're not going nowhere, you know? And I just haven't been. And I'm like annoying with it too. Like, I'm really not going nowhere. I'm going to keep asking until you say yes.
Charlamagne used to always say you got to be college level annoying to get what you want sometimes. And it sounds crazy, but
that's
it's
pretty
really
annoying.
But it's a fact though, because ultimately, as much as people initially got sick of hearing they don't want this, they don't want that. Now you can't miss college. Everybody's investing in his energy.
Yeah.
Everybody's putting the bag behind him always wanting what he want and chasing and achieving what he wants to achieve. Like, he was the right amount of annoying for his personality to be where he's at.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a market for everything.
Exactly.
There's a market for every kind of personality type. It's just figuring out where you fit in.
And that requires exposure.
Yeah, it does.
So you gotta bang your drum sometime.
Yeah, and I had to learn that the hard way.
I
really had to learn that. I mean, but I've never been, like I said, in my social life, I had no problem being cocky. You know what I mean? I'm talking shit all day with my friends and people I feel comfortable around. And I really didn't have a problem talking my shit in business either, except I was trying to be accepted by more of the establishment, right? I was trying to fit in, so I was, and in New York, it's like, you really got to put that on. You can't, the natural sort of like, say what you mean, speak how you feel type thing that you can do in Philly.
Yeah.
You can't do that in New York. You can't do that there. It's instantly considered uncouth. Everything is about class, appearance, sort of like pretending. Like, if you have a broken leg, no, I'm fine. Like, that's New York, because there's always somebody who's trying to move into your position. It's so cutthroat there.
Yeah.
And the enemies are all around, but they're smiling. See, at least one of the things at first I didn't like it. I was like, oh my goodness, Philadelphia is so grimy, like, and raw, right? And then I appreciated it like a motherfucker, because at least you understand where you stand with people here. And then when I realized, like, I could just talk my shit too, I started really getting comfortable.
Exactly.
I was like, matter of fact, I don't like you. You know what I mean? Like it gave me Philly gave me like a freedom. And they say, like, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. That's fucking bullshit. That's Philadelphia all the way. If you can survive here, if you can dodge the cars that are trying to hit you, it's like Grand Theft Auto outside. If you can keep someone from beating you in the head with a fucking baseball bat, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta do so much here, in addition to eat and clothe, and, you know what I mean? Navigate, like, the people that look like you at the top who are also trying to see you fail. It's fucked up.
And everybody in the city has a stepchild syndrome because we're not New York.
Yeah, and I don't know why, because the thing is that everything that New York has that Philly doesn't have is inauthentic. It's not real.
And that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of Philly people, like, will literally say, well, we're better than New York, or I don't give a fuck about New York, or any of those things. Like, not so intimidated by New York, but New York is the stage. Right, and we feel like we the stage.
Supposedly, right?
Yeah, so that was like, y'all keep talking about them. They right there.
I think the only thing is like, the only reason why people have that attitude about New York is because New York is full of shit talkers.
Yeah.
Like, we talk the most shit of anyone, and you just gotta pick. You don't really know who can back it up, so you gotta, like, watch yourself. Some people can, but most people can't. They're just loud.
One of the biggest lies in hip-hop party history is the response to, is Brooklyn in the house? You could go anywhere, and it's gonna be a bunch of people not from Brooklyn. So about some
Right. It's just, that whole thing is. I mean, I have a tremendous amount of respect for, like, New York's role in hip hop. Right, that's, nobody could deny that. Absolutely. But then it's like, when I got to Philly, and I wasn't even well versed in a lot of Philly artists. I'm not gonna lie. When you're from somewhere else, your heroes.
Like, you ain't know who Freeway was.
Your heroes. Don't tell no one. Your heroes are different people when you're from somewhere else.
Absolutely.
And you have to realize, like, the part of New York, upstate New York, that I'm from is where Jada and all of them are from. LL and them are from there. Even, like, when I was 14, I used to open up for a lot of rappers.
Crazy.
So, like, Queen Latifah and all of, they used to be like, that used to be the people around the hood. Heavy D, like, you know what I mean? They're all from
Rest
that
in
part
peace,
of,
Head, man.
you know, they're all from that part of New York. So, like, those are our freeways, right? Those are, you know, ours. And unless you, all I know is that in my defense, Freeway and Beanie and them came out during kind of like my Erykah Badu phase. I wasn't even on the hip hop like that anymore at that time period. I was burning incense and wearing turbans. Like, I really thought I was her. I really thought I was her, for real.
I wasn't going to take it there, but you did. But no, but if you are in a space, especially if you're in that phase, then you're cleansing, you're being mindful of what you let into your ears and into your realm. So 98% of hip hop at that time was scary if you're trying to get right with your you know what I mean?
I mean, I lost a whole. I would say I stopped really listening to hip hop and like
you lost
that
like 10 years
in like 2000. Probably around then is where like I started moving into other stuff. You know, Mary J, Growing Pains. Like I was in my little female thing.
And that's exactly when Beans and Freeway and them hit the scene.
And I didn't really start like fucking with hip hop again until like last year. But now it's all underground artists that I'm
say now you know all the Philly rappers.
Yeah, now I'm like now I'm listening to nothing but like independent Philly artists and interested in the Philly sound. When
I was working at Lockaware, I realized that I was so entrenched in all of the up and coming artists and underground artists or whatever have you, that when people was telling me mainstream people albums and projects dropped, I had no idea. They're like, did you listen
you didn't care about them no more.
New Nas album dropped. They're like, did you listen to the new Nas? I'm like, oh, it came out? Like, I didn't even know because there's so much over here that you still trying to get through, and these are people that you care about in certain ways, and I want to see, and they ask for advice, and like, and it's hot.
And there's a lot of stuff coming out. Like back-to-back stuff is coming out too. So it's like you're trying to keep up.
But I think that's what's dope about the culture. You can survive in any part of it that you want to. You don't have to dabble with the whole thing. You can literally say, I just want to deal with independent East Coast artists or Philly or whatever have you. You can say, I care about battle rap. There's enough battle rap shit going on every day that in your free time, you'll have enough stuff to watch and entertain yourself.
I thought I heard you on my radio one day in the car.
Where?
Is this a possibility?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I did. I was at 98.5. I don't know if you listen to 98.5 FM.
No, I'm talking about music.
Oh, music? Yeah, that's possible too. What song?
Because I was on like a, you know how like in iTunes, not iTunes, but in Apple Music or whatever. I think I was on like a local Philly sort of playlist thing, and then I let it keep going, and I think a song that you were on came up.
It's possible.
Is that possible?
It's very possible.
Okay.
It's very possible. What people?
Because I was like shocked. I was like kind of, I don't know. I know you from the podcast and stuff.
And that's what I was about to say. People don't realize that I was an artist first. Like media was an accident. It was a blessing, but it was an accident. It was doing what we do, trying to support a friend. You know what I'm saying? A friend of mine had a show. I went by there just to salute, like, hey, one of your first shows, I didn't know you was doing this. Had a ball, he interviewed me. And then I went back a couple weeks later, and he was sitting in there by himself. So I got on the mic just to help balance out. You know what I mean? So he would just be up there talking to himself. And he kept me. And then I did that, and then I wound up on FM radio, and then I started Sipping with Sammie. So I was on 3 platforms at once doing interviews, so that kind of, it's like a huge wave over the couple songs that might come out at the time.
Right.
You know, but I featured with a lot of dope people in the city, and I put out a few projects, so they're on them playlists. It's around. But you know what's funny? You can't be the rapper guy and the media guy at the same time.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the acceptance speech for an award is completely different. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the little things is like you kind of gotta like know, like, when I'm in the space today, Son is the rapper.
Yeah. You mean in the same moment?
In that moment,
but you can exist as both of those. Yeah, people,
you can.
Right?
You can, but it's hard. Like if I get on stage and I say I'm sipping with Sammie, MALONE, Barstool, Rug, and all of that, I start talking about my media platforms. I don't immediately go to
like your
grab my album.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No. Because you got to pick a lane, but and stick to it. But you know what's funny is I had mentioned that I started rapping like when I was 14. I was a rapper. I
can see that.
That mostly came out of me being like a smart kid, right? I was a little activist like when I was like living at home, and I was like 11, 12 years old writing letters to the newspaper. like opinion letters.
It was Tupac.
Like I was angry about the conditions in my town, and I was like writing like little nasty letters to the leadership. So I've been fucking the system up for a minute.
But
now.
you believed in the power of your pen since a young girl, though.
Yeah, and then
if you think about it, that's like amazing. Like you knew that your voice meant something when it maybe not so much.
You know what it was? My grandfather used to do it, and I really looked up to him. He would always write shit in there that he was annoyed with and stuff, and then I was like,
That's
I'm
fire.
annoyed with some shit too.
That's fire, because we only think that middle-aged white women do that. So if it was a black man doing it, that's dope.
So I did that, and then some guys who were like rappers and producers or whatever were like, "You're a smart kid. Do you think you could like maybe write a rap?" So like I went home and wrote a rap for them. Called Let's Get It On. It had like a Marvin Gaye kind of like beat to it or whatever, and they were like, yo, we got to get you in the studio. To these older guys, I was going to be their meal ticket. They were going to put me as being as young as I was. This is 1991. There's hardly any female rappers, let alone female rappers that are like 14,
right,
you know?
Right.
So they're looking at me. This is New York too. We're linked into, everybody in Yonkers, New Rochelle, like all the areas like where all these rappers I was telling you, Heavy D and them are from. So it was easy access for me to potentially have a career. And I started doing really late night club appearances, opening up for Naughty by Nature, Grand Poobah, Onyx, Fushnikins, Queen Latifah, Leaders of the New School, like all these different groups. And my grandmother was like, you can't be coming home at 4 o'clock in the morning on school nights. So she thought it was cute at first.
And
but
of
then
course, you're a
like,
young lady too.
I'm a young lady. I'm in limos. You know what I mean? Grown men are around. People are drinking. These are nightclubs. So I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did. I think I maybe did like 2 or 3 shows like that, and then it was completely cut off by my grandmother.
The 2 or 3 shows you
my
did
career.
Are somebody's biggest moments in their hip hop memory.
In their whole career.
Like, I was at the show one night and such and such and such and such and such.
Yeah.
You was on that bill for a lot of people for 3 shows.
Yeah. So I stopped. I stopped after that, right?
And just hung it up.
And then until CEO Row had Poets and Laughter, I had kept that entire side of me like secret. And then when I announced that I was going to perform at Poets and Laughter, I had a lot of people in the rap game here in Philly like criticizing me for that. They were like, you're taking a slot from somebody who's really serious about this as their career and all this other stuff. And
but that's
you're
not even
great at the paperwork and the grant writing. So like,
that's not even a Poets and Laughter setup though. Like it's love in that.
He asked me.
Yeah, like it's not like this isn't American Idol.
Yeah, he asked me, and it wasn't like there was prize money. I wasn't keeping someone from winning a prize.
No.
Also, even if I was doper than you, then I won the prize.
That is what it is.
Like,
but it's really because I know Ro.
Picking up that skin.
I've known Ro for a long time. The energy behind that is network and community and all of that.
And it was love. It was different types of performing, and that's why I chose that particular vehicle to come back out because I didn't want it to be.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do a members only because I'm not trying to start it. That's the track for if you're trying to practice to start a career. I'm 46 years old. I can assure you I'm not becoming a rapper right now. But I am an artist, and I want to be able to, now that I'm more comfortable financially, right? See, people do the opposite, right? They pursue the art first, and then they're like, shit, I'm not comfortable financially. But I wanted to make sure that I could get like my shit together,
right? So
I could do the art the way the art is meant to be done, which is not worrying about eating from it, like
and
necessarily.
As an artist, you have the right to express yourself. Like you are an artist, you know what I'm saying? And I know that that's a very broad word, but at the end of the day, the way that you talk about the art, the respect that you have for the art means that it's really part of you.
Yeah.
Nobody could change that.
Like I don't talk
like
about my booty and
I don't like that you got backlash for that
stuff.
I'm really pissed.
Yeah,
that you
a little bit, but I handle people. You know what I'm saying? I sure cuss people out professionally.
I'm sure it didn't.
I'm the queen of that shit.
It didn't impede on your progress.
Oh, it had nothing to do.
But
because I murdered it the next day. You get what I'm saying? This was the night before. This was the night before the show, and so again, when you're talking to a little perseverant, like I am Rocky Balboa, like from New York, like I my eyes closed and everything. I'm still fighting. Just the fact that they had that to say made me want to fucking murder it the next day.
I needed that.
You know what I'm saying? I needed it.
I needed that.
And I found out that the people who were doing this actually were watching me on somebody's live. You know, just to see, like, I guess they were looking for the fail show.
It's amazing the lengths that people go through.
That they will go to. But then after that, it was all hugs. It was all respect.
I don't think I hosted that night that you performed.
Yeah, so I mean, I murdered it. I murdered it. I mean, I have a style. I have an old school style. I believe in a traditional form of hip hop. Like I have bars. You know what I mean? Puns. You know what I'm saying? My shit is almost entirely puns. So like I'm from like a certain era of quality hip hop that's not just about my vagina.
Saying puns is funny though, because there was a time when I was rapping and I was running around with a group of rappers. Random, we weren't in a group, but it was just a bunch of us, and they was like, he's the street one, he's the gangster one, he's the grimy one, you just gonna be the comedian. And I was like, I don't know how to take that, but I'm silly, and half of the hooks I've ever stuck with or that people really were attracted to were jokes.
Yeah,
like they were
like
jokes,
smart, slick shit that you're saying.
Like I got a song called "I Swear," and the hook is, "If she pour my drink right, best believe I'm a tipper. If I'm paying for that ass, she better be a stripper. I swear." I swear. I was joking with the producer while he was making the beat, and he stopped making the beat, said, "Go in there and say the shit," and then people gravitated to it. You know what I mean? But it's like that's a joke. I was just playing. But what do people? What? If somebody's not a lyricist, if somebody doesn't hear a song more than one time, what attracts them? Something that's witty, something that's easy to remember.
Yeah, something like, that's funny.
The joke works.
I can't tell you the number of songs, just like Biggie, some of the shit Biggie says. Remy has a line where like these bitches walk like they butt stink. That shit is fucking hilarious to me. Like I know it's like terrible for anyone in real society to think and behave this way, but in the context of a song,
but I also find art in graffiti. It gives me the chuckles. So it doesn't matter if it's allowed in society for me to find the beauty in it. I find art in graffiti.
Yeah. I like the more absurd someone like Lil Wayne is another person whose art I love. Like reach a lot. Like. If you could make me laugh at a song, I don't care how inappropriate really it is. You know, I'm not from this generation that's like offended by fucking everything. Like I'm from like Chris Rock.
But that's funny
Richard
though,
Pryor,
because
like,
how do you go from Chris Rock, Richard Pryor, Badu to all the ratchetness in Philly?
Yeah.
You're a well-rounded motherfucker.
It's just being a well-rounded person. Like I've experienced a lot of things in my life that people would never believe. Do you think that you have
to always isolate things though? I feel like you go in a deep focus with your moments and your modes where it's like, we're going to put our head down and do this. We're going to pick our head up and do this. We're going to put our head this way and do this. But nothing else moves until that's done. But for you, these are 5 to 10 year stints of you doing this.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that it could all exist together with you and you be comfortable and be able to accomplish things?
Yeah, I think one thing is always going to be the heaviest.
Absolutely.
Like one area is always going to be the one that like, and then I think a successful person dabbles in the other areas, and because one of those might pop off unexpectedly, right? Absolutely. But the other, just keeping it within reason.
Stir a few pots at a time.
When I talk to my clients, right, again, that type A personality probably comes into play where I'm like, before you can even work with me, I need you to track every single hour of your day for 1 week and tell me what you've done in it.
Which is a great exercise.
And I'm not working with you really until you do that, because I want to know how serious you are and whether or not you get the lesson from this, which is you're wasting a lot of fucking time.
Are you able to tell when they make it up, when they're lying?
Yeah, I mean, most people who really ain't shit won't bother to do the exercise at all, and then that's great. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to.
That is a good point, though. If you're taking it, if we going this far, you might as well take it serious.
Yeah, and the thing is that, again, time is very valuable. So, you know, and there's a lot of people, once they find out what I do, the strategy part of it, and like the execution and everything, you get inundated with people interested in working with you. So you have to be able to decipher who's serious about really getting this done and who wants you to do it. Right? So that exercise is a good way to figure out like who is willing to put in the work for this, right? I can't run everybody's businesses and projects and charity things. You know, I have my own stuff to do, and I also would like to sleep, eat well, you know what I mean, and enjoy time with my friends.
Cool. It's kind of cool.
Enjoy time with my friends.
It's cool
but
to have
it was a time period where it was nonstop. If I was at Glockwork after 5:00 p.m., mostly everybody was talking to me about what they wanted to achieve, and I got a fucking Heineken in my hand. Like, I'm chilling. Like, it's Friday. I just worked the whole damn week. I'm like, listen, Monday through Friday, I literally am just sitting at my desk waiting for people to call me between the hours of 9 to 5.
But as soon as you off the clock, you on the clock again.
Yeah, so like call me then, you know. And now I just started not even saying anything and just handing my business card out, like not even replying.
That's smart. But I have the opposite office hours. Happy hour starts my office hours.
Okay.
So I have most of my conversations when people are drinking, smoking, doing whatever, because it's during these events and stuff like that that I'm important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I'm relevant because these are social hours.
So you have peace during the day.
Yeah, during the day I can strategize, relax, take naps.
Man.
But in the evening, if I go anywhere, and I mean from the neighbor, I can go to a family event.
Yeah.
I will be talking about business by my second drink to my third and fourth drink to me getting out of there.
I almost think that that's like a more favorable life right there, because I would love to have like my work hours be the drinking hours.
The only thing is, I constantly have to remember to tell people, remind me of what we talked about.
Right.
Call me tomorrow, DM me, text me, and be like, yo, remember last night we was talking about such and such? Because I am drinking.
Yeah, but that's also a way to tell if they're serious. I'm conscious of what we're talking about. Like, I'm dead serious. I'm not lying to you. I'm not giving you a drunken spill. But don't think that I'm going to remember this word by word tomorrow, because I'm going to have 5 of these conversations tonight. Yeah, but that's also a good way to see if they're serious, because if they follow up with that text message or whatever the next day or the Insta,
it filters.
You know, it's like some of them they also forgot. They probably they're long gone.
And I don't take that stuff personal, because I'll remind you. So I'm asking for the same
if
courtesy.
you remember, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if it's like what you said. Some things we talk about and it's not time yet. But when that time comes, I'm gonna remember.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But if it's urgent for you or it's something that you could push a button on, then let's make it happen as soon as possible. But if you leave it to me, it's gonna be in the time that I see.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But it's also fun though.
Yeah.
Because it becomes a game. Because one thing that I can say I have done is I made sipping with Sammie a thing. So now when you're out, let's go to the bar. Bro, I don't need no more to drink, but I'm trying to sip with Sammie. Like, it become funny, you know what I mean?
So just not even on the show, they're just sipping with you and
oh my goodness,
regional locations,
anywhere and everywhere. Like, it's a thing, but it's fun because then that brings more people in.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? It starts a bigger conversation, a bigger joke, whatever have you. I meet people that way. People, why they call you that? No. You'd be surprised at some of the people that watch this show every week, just because of moments like that.
Cool.
Where it's like, I didn't know you was my demo, but now you are.
That's
but
dope.
It became a thing, you know? And it's one of those things that was an accident. I was intentional about what I wanted to do. I was consistently doing what I chose to do or what I said I was going to do, but nobody had to care.
Yeah.
And that's the part that is like, wow.
It's the nobody, that's a huge hurdle to jump to, the nobody has to care hurdle. Like, true. I think that my Twitter page says I want to change the world even if nobody cares about it. Like, so it means like, you know, wanting to do it regardless of like getting the accolades. I don't need likes. I don't need followers. All 600 and something of my followers are people I met within the last year. on the streets. I didn't even have an Instagram before Philly got
That
bars
is
last year.
hilarious,
I met
man.
every single one of the people that are following me some way, some type of way in
600
person.
and something is actually good for you.
It's a lot for
It's
physical.
good for you.
I was beating the streets. I was at O'Doon Day, Juneteenth. I was like at every Enes and Friends, from Enes and Friends till the end of the summer.
Ness
I was
is
at every event,
Ness
meeting
is a
everyone.
Great resource. Besides being a great person,
Yeah,
he has so much time and so many people value him that he's definitely a great person to show up for if you want to see some people.
yeah. So it's almost that time of year again. I just got the grant funding to do Philly Got Bars for the second year, and I didn't get as much as I wanted, but we're gonna rock out. We're gonna take care of this. We're gonna show them that we can do it with less, right? Because we're very resourceful. We have a standard.
I was
You know
about
what
to
I'm
say,
saying, for
like,
how we do
no
it,
matter
so-
what, it's going to be better than it was last year.
We're reaching
And
it. Yeah.
That's.
I mean, we did that with our eyes closed last year.
Wow.
We have all the same players involved
Can
this
I tell you
year.
a secret? For 3 days, you was all over my newsfeed. You was all over my timeline for 3 days, and I'm
And
not
we
lying.
got them mad about the
You know
winner.
I'm not
I
lying.
saw them talking about it on Gawkware, and while it wasn't, the conversation was
Oh,
about
I
who
was
they
part of one
thought
of those
should have won.
conversations,
Yeah,
actually.
the conversation was about who they thought should have won. All I could say to myself was, it's 3 days after the event, and they're still talking about it. That's all I cared about.
I'll keep it honest with you. I ain't seen an event in Philly with a winner that didn't have an argument about who should.
Yeah, but everything done there was absolutely legit, like out of my hands. We had a score system that was completely not fuck withable.
I'm about to say,
Like-
you're professional, so you gonna make sure that nobody's mad at you at the end.
Oh
of the night.
yeah, there
You
was
can
no
help it.
way. Even the people who thought something happened, we did a whole Zoom with my whole team to clear it up for them. Like you're not gonna go out here in these streets and say certain type of shit. A negative message about a person's business travels 9 times faster than a positive one. And I'm not gonna allow something that could be cleaned up to remain a mess. Let's put it that way.
No, I hear that. That's fine. Don't lose no sleep though.
No, but I'm going. If I can clear it up, I will, because we don't rock like that.
And respectfully, you want people to feel respected. You don't want people to feel like whatever, because there are ways that things can be misinterpreted. And we
Yeah,
understand
and
that.
it was never set up for anything like that. But
I
yeah,
think 98% of what I seen, I keep saying 98, was positive though. And I think that the only conversation was the normal conversation of my friend or I or
yeah, my
whoever
friend
should've
should have
won.
won.
And that's cool. Like
Yeah.
that's fine. No
Yeah.
problem. Like we ain't gonna win them all. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But the fact they had the opportunity, I bet you 9 out of 10 of the people that was involved would do it again.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
think there's
that's what
people coming
mattered.
this
They
year.
were treated fair.
I think the rappers are
treated
coming
nicely.
They got
things
paid.
worked timely. They got paid. Like these things make a
on time.
difference.
Yeah.
So, it's
So
like,
yeah, we're announcing the contest at the end of this month. We're currently working on our judges
dope.
for it, who we would like to have. We're
Dope.
going a little bit different way this year, but like we're going industry. We're going like professional, trying to do something that could have a real impact for artists. And
Well, I
then
have to check my site now.
yeah, and then yeah, we got more. We have a couple of other things that we're just fingers crossed we can juggle it all, and fingers crossed we can get the bread right for it all. But mobilizing the streets around us helps with the political pushing, right? Like making sure people are in the background of our shit saying fuck with these people,
Right.
Like they're changing the neighborhood, and if we can do that, then we become more attractive to the people who have the financial resources,
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense to me. And if I could say, like I said, you said it's been a year. It feels like it's been 2. But
just one.
that means that you've done a lot and that you're doing good work, because I'm seeing you around the right spaces and the right people.
I got a freaking Hollywood Walk of Fame star
I saw that.
this year.
I saw that. What the hell was that about?
Authenticated.
Like, you were holding one.
Yeah, like it's real.
How?
Cause my PHL 17 and Next Star Media, which is the company that has media TV stations all over the country, was looking for the most remarkable woman. And in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, I was chosen as the most remarkable woman. So they flew me out to LA, all expense paid, to meet the other remarkable women from the rest of the states across the country. And then they had like Jennifer Hudson, and I'm freaking dancing with the lady from Entertainment Tonight with the blonde hair or whatever that kind of looks like Vanna White, Lisa Gibbons. I'm dancing with her, and then at the end of this whole thing, they give us a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. Hand painted by the same person who does the ones on the ground. On the back of it has certificate of authenticity, meaning like that shit's gonna be worth official. Fucking money one day. Like you can't get that without actually getting that. You know, like as a celebrity. So for a non-celebrity to like own this, those things are gonna be worth money someday.
Even the celebrities pay for them.
Yeah. So.
It's a fact.
I don't have enough money to pay for mine.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, even when a celebrity gets a star, they have to pay.
It was sick.
Or somebody has to pay for them.
So, like, I might have to go outside of this city to get my love and just come here and spend my money.
I heard that. Well, we ain't mad at the money.
That's what I might have to do.
Nobody in Philly is going to fight the money.
I'm only willing to play this type. I'm only willing to play this version of the game, like, only but so much longer.
I hear that, but you've been in the game for a while, so what's the end goal? You 18 years in Philly, 15 years doing exactly what you're doing, which I don't know if that's good or bad for your mental health. Mm-hmm. But, like, where do you say, you know what, this is what the cutoff looks like. This is what's accomplished, and this is what I'm doing.
I'm going to be very honest with you, and this is going to be a little controversial. A lot of people have been asking me whether or not I would run for office, and I'm completely disgusted by it, except for the fact that if I'm not where I should be here in Philadelphia within the next 2 years, I'm coming for you guys. So, I mean, that's you heard it here. That's how I'm feeling right now, because I really have been sitting here for 15 years doing this work and watching lesser people and lesser things through cronyism and other bullshit like happen. My army is already assembling. I plan way ahead. You know what I mean? I'm only telling you part of the plan. Absolutely. You know what I mean? That's but it's been in the works. Like, it wasn't until, like, I would say last year where I decided, like, I'm really seriously going to create a problem here if I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
My question, why were you disgusted by the thought?
Politics it like ties your hands, right? Absolutely. Like, there's so much more shit I can do in terms of being effective as like just a street hustler, right? But once you get into politics, there's all these people you have to make happy, like different rules you have to follow. You have to follow, fall in line with the party on certain stuff, and like, this ain't my party. I throw my own parties. You know what I mean?
Talk that shit.
So that's always been off-putting me. I don't join clubs. I'm not that type of chick. I'm a weirdo. I used to go antique shopping when I was like 8. You know what I mean? I'm not normal. So, like, I'm not going to fit in with, like, girls wearing stilettos and, doing the whole, like, I don't know, establishment hustle and strut. I'm a fucking weirdo. I love weirdos. I love street niggas. I love the outskirts, the outsiders.
Never forget that the same women that you would assume you wouldn't get along with would love to be you. A lot of them
might want to be a little bit more free.
A lot of them would.
Yeah.
A lot of them would. A lot of people don't know who they are. You figured out who you were when you was emulating your grandfather. Like, yeah. You see what I'm saying? People be on their third husband before
I've been me the whole time.
But they figure out they don't even want a man. Like, you just like
yeah. I did have somebody come up to me and say, I totally love and appreciate your brand. And I said, why is that? She said, because you could just be who you are. Like, I think she created a brand that put her in a box where now she needs to walk around being that person all the time. And because I came out here, like, I be drinking, like, you see me rapping, like, I'm fucking outside, like, people smoke a blunt, like, and then they're like, well, don't you think that's bad for Mission Inc. with the paperwork? Look, if you can't fuck with who I really am, we probably shouldn't be working together.
And I shouldn't invest in somebody that's doing stuff for the community that can't fuck with the community. That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the
you gotta
similar
make
to
it
what
make
you
sense.
said about New York. Some of this should just be backwards. It just don't add up. At the end of the
They
day,
will critique me. Philly Got Bars has no censorship for the artists.
Mm-hmm.
So it was people were surprised. They don't pay an entry fee to enter.
Mm-hmm.
They get their prize.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't censored.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was surprising. But now that we get outside money, I'm wondering if they're going to be like, you really can't have, because we told people express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That was a major value for me as a company, to have a contest where people express themselves realistically, and that like we can't stop violence if we're not willing to listen to motherfuckers talk and speak and say in their own language and say what they have to say. Not listening is the fucking problem here, right? So I felt very strongly about that. If funding causes that to be different, I won't accept funding anymore. So that's how strongly I feel about that. I mean, we have other ways.
Because you still an artist.
We have wealthy people. Like, we know people who can write the checks without us going through government sources.
Absolutely.
So if we have to go that angle, we'll go that angle. We've thought of all of the angles. Let's put it that way. With all the angles, it's just who wants to play ball with us the way we're playing ball. But we're not compromising at all.
You just doing steadily at this grant writing shit. You got a list over there. Did we miss anything?
No.
Anything we need to say?
No.
You good?
I just want people to get ready. Philly Got Bars. We're about to announce at the end of the month, and $2,000 to the grand prize winner.
2,000.
Yes,
That's
2,000.
heavy.
If we raise more, we'll up the prize amount.
I'm from Philly. Somebody go buy a car with that, buddy. I know how y'all play.
I think the rappers are gonna be better this year than they were in previous years, because last year they were like, people really got their money. Yeah, they got their money right there at the end of the event. Cash App.
Yeah,
you
well,
know.
you know.
So yeah, I'm working on it. That's where I am now. Next couple months, like you said, I'll be
Locked in again.
It'll be Philly Got Bars time.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. Well, if anybody wants to keep up with you, donate, whatever, contribute, how do they do that?
Follow me on Instagram at Real Mission Inc. so I can have 691 followers. Like, just give me one more follower. Yeah, follow me at Real Mission Inc. because I'm going to have everything up there that I'm doing in all of life, everything I'm cooking, everything I'm being, how I'm acting. It's going to be all there.
Well, once again, I gave you a few high fives, but I want to salute you.
Thank
you are
you.
appreciated. I see you working out here, and I try to tell people that part of getting in the mix is just getting in the mix, just going outside. And you're an example of that. You've made a lot of progress in a little bit of time because you made a conscious decision to be amongst the people.
Yeah.
And when you get in these rooms, you realize that you go to the next room, you see half of that room in the next room, and a third of that room in the next room, and then you just work your levels until you in a room that's a little unfamiliar, but you're comfortable and you know you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. That's all it is. So salute to you and everything you got going on.
Thank you.
Man. Absolutely. I wish you the best. But this is Sipping with Sammie. I am Sipping with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool, Rug. If you ain't sipping with Sammie, you ain't sipping right.
like we were
Please
really
get your
just
fucking life
talking.
together.
Sipping, I'm 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 sipping.
Get it right. Get it right. Get it. I done took a six-pack on tour. Whole vibe shift from the front door. Shit bit right and not the one boy. Talk to me nicely, ain't the one to come for. Ain't the one to stare at. Just speak, never fear that. If you geek, they gon' clear that. And all that guy you talking can't hear that. Now where's the yak? Who's she? Everywhere smoky, like the movie. Fly day, day, groovy. She 5 feet away, suddenly groupie. Heat seeking, get off my neck. Whole convo, what we could do next. Put that hot box on ice. I mean respectfully, y'all came to get right, get it right.
Up north, get right. Down south, get right. Midwest, get right. West Coast, get right. Up north, get right. Down south, get right. Midwest, get right. West Coast, get right.
Can't get a check, get lit. I mean drunk, real shit. Raise a bottle if you feel this. Or felt it, coach, bench him, he's melting. Your man Sammie a pro, I just drink mo. See my reflection, think mo. Peek around my section, drink mo, drink mo, drink mo, drinks full, drink mo. You know it's time to go when all the bottles flip. Driver pop the trunk, I got another bid. Backwood on my lip and another twist. If they think I'm loco, can't fuck with this. Trouble type, I think they the bubble type. Can't get right if only for one night. If this is life, I'd be damned if Sam is gonna get right, get right, get right.
Up north, get right. Down south, get right. Midwest, get right. West Coast, get right. Up north, get right. Down south, get right. Midwest, get right. West Coast, get right.
Get right. Get right.